Welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am the founder of Food Truck Training Group on Facebook, co-owner with my beautiful wife, Melissa, of our own food truck. It's called Food Truck 101, and I'm the executive director of National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. Today I'm going to be talking about guest service, and I'm going to be giving you some tips on making sure that your guest service is stellar. But before I get into that, I want to remind you guys I'm going to be a part of the Food Truck Owners Expo in Houston, Texas this year on July 29th and 30th. I'm going to be giving 3 talks. The first one is on writing a profitable menu. The second one is on marketing in the off season. And the third one is on why we as food vendors need to have a collective single voice so that we can affect change in our industry. Plus, after I give those 3 talks, I'm going to be out on the main floor of the expo. I'm going to be holding what's being called campfire networking sessions. We're going to give you guys the opportunity to sit down and ask me any kind of questions you have about food trucks, or you can sit and listen to me talk about different topics, again, about the food truck industry. That is July 29th and 30th of this year. Go to ftoexpo.com, place your order today, and when you do, put in code FTTG15 for a 15% discount on those tickets. I want to thank Table Needs for sponsoring our episode today. Table Needs is a full-service POS system that's capable of handling all of your busy food truck cash needs, credit card needs, and reporting needs. Check them out. There's going to be a link in the description to give you more information about Table Needs. So I'm going to be giving you some tips today about guest service and why guest service is so important to your successful business. So tip number 1, this should be an automatic, but you would be surprised how many people don't do this, and that is always greet every guest with a smile, make them feel welcome. It's just a simple gesture, but you would be surprised how many owners cannot do that, especially when they've taken the 30th or 40th order in a row, they forget to smile. And that's when they should be smiling the biggest because they're that busy. Tip number 2 is be attentive and listen. This means you shut up. Pay close attention to your guests' needs and their preferences. Listen carefully when they place their order and be ready to answer any questions they may have. If a guest has a special request or a dietary restriction, do your best to accommodate it. There are so many food truck owners out there that go, nope, no specials. It's like they're the soup Nazi on Seinfeld. Give me a break. This is food service. That means you serve people. And if it's within your ability, do it. If somebody says, I want no pickle on that burger, it's not that hard. Don't put the pickle on it. If somebody says, hey, take an element for product A and put it on product B, you've already got it. And you should have already figured out a way to ring it up. If you don't want to handle specials, the easiest way to be able to tell somebody no is to say, absolutely, I can do that for you, but it's going to be an upcharge of $1, $2. So if they're willing to pay $1 or $2 to make whatever modification, well, you might ought to do it because you just made 2 real easy dollars. Tip number 3, keep your service area clean. This is called clean as you go. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, you've probably heard that. Or you may have heard the antiquated but still true, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. The idea is that you're always rush ready. And rush ready doesn't mean that you're walking across a whole bunch of food you spilled on the floor and there's lettuce and cheese all over the counter because you're messy. Clean as you go. Keep your area clean. Communicate clearly and politely. It should not take a genius to know that you should be saying thank you when people give you money. It shouldn't take a constant reminder just to have the courtesy that we all, if you've got any kind of age on you at all, learned at Sesame Street or on Romper Room. Courtesy goes a long way. So does being polite. And then speaking when there's a delay. If you know that your order you just took is going to be 15 minutes because you're behind, let them know. Hey, this will be ready in 10 or 15 minutes or whatever the time frame is. Communicate and being transparent when you have an issue goes a long way towards the people being willing to accept whatever the problem may be. But if you let them be surprised, they'll make up all kinds of scenarios about you back there goofing off and outside smoking cigarettes instead of making their food. So communicate. Tip number 5, offer samples and specials and do whatever it takes to get people coming to your food truck. It drives me crazy to go to a food truck event where there's nothing but food truck owners. And I'll walk up and down looking at which food truck do I want to eat at. And we check out all the menus, see if there's any price changes. We see what their specials are for the day. We look at every single one of them. And it amazes me how many food trucks will not have a line and won't even bother to greet or even pay attention to people passing by. Get some food into their mouths. Hey, would you like a sample? We got the best, whatever your product is. Here's a bite of it. I bet you're going to love it. You don't need to go to any other food truck. We went to our little food truck event 2 Fridays ago, there were, I believe, 11 food trucks there, and not a one of them, except for one, offered any food. And the one that offered us food knew us, and they knew we were going to order from them because they're Melissa's favorite food truck, or one of Melissa's favorites. But they still, hey, would you like to try this? We got something new. But we walked past 2 other food trucks that did not have a line, got it even bother to lean out, smile, say, hi, how you doing? What looks good to you? Just ignored us until we stepped up to the window. And one of them, I felt sorry for him, just went and ordered off of him because he needed all the help he could get. Talk to people when they pass by. Offer samples. Get your food into their mouth so they can make a decision. I guarantee you, most people you give a sample to, unless your food is disgusting, they're probably going to come back and buy it because you've already set their mouth's expectation of how good your food is, and they've already got that taste in their mouth, so they want to complement that taste by getting more of it. Tip number 6, show appreciation. This is say thank you. Have a great day. Please come back and see us again. Just saying thank you so much. I say it many times. They hand me their cash. Thank you so much. Your order will be ready in 8 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever the time frame is. I'm going to take the food out to them. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Hope you enjoy. I can hear the change in my voice when I say those things because I want them to know I'm excited that I'm able to give them food, and I really hope they enjoy it. So they'll do what? Come back tomorrow. Now, all of these tips that I just gave you need to be a part of your training process to your cashiers. One of the things I don't want you to get hung up on is you being the cog or you being the most important piece of your food truck's operation. Because if you're the most important piece, that means you can't ever leave it. So all these things need to become a part of your training process, and then you need to teach the employees how to do what it is you expect them to do for that job. And yes, people are antisocial, and yes, people can't keep their nose off their cell phone, and yes, I know all of those things. You're not educating the population in general. You are finding the 1 or 2 superstars that are going to help you to move your business forward. They exist, but they can't become a superstar if you don't teach them what it is that you want. So spend the time for you to practice these things I've talked about and for you to write them out so you can teach other people how to do these things. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you like what we do, please consider giving us a monthly donation or even a one-time donation. The link will be in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Thank you guys so much again for listening, and we'll see you in the next podcast.